there's not going to be too much practice with this 5, so it'll be a little bit more puggy.
Yeah, so when I was on the roster for Endpoint, we were forced to practice Nuke because it's one of the Premier maps. Now, obviously, that's changed. You get to veto the maps in Premier, the Mountain Dew Leagues. That changes everything. Suddenly, you're not forced to practice maps. You're not forced to play these maps. So is this a curveball? And is this something they played? Because I don't think they played it so far. They played their, you know, a lot of Inferno. They're like Overpass, these more tactical maps. And does that favor towards a team like Endpoint, where Nuke on your T side can be more of that strategical approach?
That's the thing. I can't say I've seen too many officials from them on this, so it'll definitely be one for one to remember as we do get into the action. Endpoint going to be starting off on that CT side. They've secured it. They want to try and lock it down and have a good performance there to open this one up. Epsilon are going to be your T. Snods, we're back. Let's get into it.
Exactly that. Emmy going to be buying up the smoke and diffuse kit, of course, and it will be Endpoint actually starting on their CT defense. So this is the question, right? Can they get off to a good start, or will Epsilon top of them over already and conquer them this first pistol round?
Well, the push coming down early. You can see Imi has actually had to fall back from close ramp as he heard an absolute thunder of footsteps coming towards him. There's a herd of Ts trying to take control, but it's been a bit of a ruse.
Exactly that. You can see as well Thomas rotating in via vent from the A site, and then Sunny, this is what's talking about, Jack. If you apply pressure on the CT side, the rotations are going to crumble, and Thomas is towards vent. If he comes up at the wrong time...
There you have it. Thomas going to find that frag so easily, but is he ready for what's about to burst through the door? As they load their 4-4s, going to charge their way through. They dive in. Eric opens it up as he finds the headshot back towards Thomas, and they have secured the site control now. Mighty Max comes over to try and prove a little bit of a nuisance towards them. He is jiggle peeking through with that USP, Snods, but nothing too much will come from it.
4 versus 4, and the bomb is down. They have the kit, but no smoke to try smoke. Use the smoke as a warden or a shroud to allow the defuse to come through, but let's see what Stanley can do on the retake.
Oh, Stanley trying his luck here as he will show his deck as he pushes through, but unfortunately Zinken and Jay-Z Walkers come through massively into the round. Zinken as well for another frag there as he continues his warpath. That's 2 frags to his name, and a round for Epsilon on that T side to open it up. Not the way Endpoint would have wanted that to go. The team mum will be sad. Jakey is not going to be happy.
Exactly that. Exactly that. That was a very well played round there for Epsilon. I said in the preface before, if you apply pressure towards that B site, it makes things so awkward on your CT side of rotation, so you have a man less there. We saw the Heaven player Mighty Max go down towards ramp. We then saw Thomas go down vent towards the B site. A massive over-rotation from Endpoint meant only one man holding the A site, and that was Thomas. He found his 1 kill, was eventually swarmed, and he couldn't find any more frags. And this will be the force by now from Endpoint.
Jay-Z here as well, trying to go a little bit aggressive as he does peek out. Just playing this contact angle now, so just holding, waiting for the push to come through. So if he can spot anyone out, he can get some early frags, which is quite nice. Imi has no real reason to extend as well. So we can just sort of cut off this back rotation on the map, even if they don't take out Syken. Oh, finds the headshot anyway, though.
Does indeed. And thankfully, for Endpoint, Imi wasn't someone that had invested into this round. Stanley, the player of Kevlar and a CZ, this is the player you want to be able to find the firepower with. Mighty Max is what chimes in, and suddenly we have a chance.
Oh, that chance goes straight out the window, though. Snons there is the return fire. Eric and Kevsy going to find frag so easily. Max on the scene of the crime, though, does damage. Max with the double switches out to the UMP. Max is playing gun game, and he makes it work as everyone hits the deck.
The Mighty Max himself, a massive quad kill there too. Win the force buy from Endpoint. There's only 3 players forcing as well. Stanley, Max, and I believe it was Fasha. Thomas and Imi. They saved for utility. They saved for potential double up setup into the first buy round, but actually, Epsilon are now the ones where they're going to be considering, do we eco, do we force buy, how much are we going to invest into this one? And the answer, Jack, is going to be all 5 players. Everyone investing into Kevlar, everyone investing into upgraded pistols as well. We have 2 smokes onto Barbar and Kevsy, so they can smoke off Garage, smoke out A main, if they want to try and get some splits going in towards A or B.
Yeah, let's see what they can actually achieve, though, as they are going for this all-out aggression towards outside. You can see them really putting all their cards up for grabs right now as the first frags will start to come through. Fasher and Thomas do peek together and shut down Jay-Z and Kevsy. Eric is in the elevated angle, though. Does have that deagle as well. It can be quite dastardly with a weapon if you give him an opportunity. But the CTs have no reason to peek Snods, apart from Thomas, who is feeling it.
Thomas, notoriously known for how good he is at getting these eco frags, or kills when players haven't got their rifles in their hands, as it seems like it's his speciality. And that's actually quite a good speciality to have, because if you have a player that's very good at getting these kills versus the pistols, versus the ecos, it takes all that risk out of it. Sometimes teams concede versus force buys. You know, every now and then you do need a player like Thomas that's going to be hungry for those kills to really give yourself a 100% chance versus the low econ buys from your opposition.
Yeah, so you don't have the reset that came through from essentially what Max did to them. You need to try and stub that out early and really leave them in a horrendous position. Barbar trying to make a play here, though, as he's the last remaining T member for Epsilon. Will peek through. Slow reaction speed there. Stanley, a little bit too hot for him.
Too hot indeed. Seems like he actually got out of bed properly this morning.
Yes, nice and alert off the back of Fasher waking him up.
Exactly, exactly. Let's take a look and see what's going to happen now. Is this going to be the eco coming out? I imagine so. And it will be $2,000 across the board here, Jack. And this is one of the biggest issues where, on your T side especially, if you're losing this first pistol round, we see teams actually opt to not go for the force buy. I was casting Na'Vi versus Stralis, and when they're on the T side, Na'Vi, they just bought Deagles, they just bought CZ, they didn't buy Kevlar. The reason being is smokes, flashbangs are crucial on Nuke, on your T side. If you want any chance into these rounds, this could be a worrying sign here for the Swedish side if they lack the utility. And can it start to snowball? They lose these rounds off the back of weak buys, and then they force more ecos, and Thomas just cleans them up, and systematically they fall down like dominoes.
Talking about snowballing into this round as well, you can see this nice play coming out from Imi and Co, where they can just hold this angle. They're actually going to peek together, so you can get a mass amount of cash here as well, because Max can now push through. Everyone's going to get converged on. So 3 of those frags going to the SMGs. That was very nicely played.
Yeah, one of the things as well I touched on all the time when casting is playing versus the force buys with the ecos, having clean rounds, 4 or 5, staying alive. We can start to establish and build your economy. Endpoint having 3 alive in the last round and 5 alive in this one versus the eco. So now we're starting to see a narrative where Endpoint have cash in the bank. 6,000, nearly 7,000 for Mighty Max. So we can see a buy from Endpoint even if they lose this round. But thankfully for Epsilon, sorry, they did get a few kills here and there. Those kills equal money, and the money equals utility. So there will be smokes across the board from Epsilon. As the smokes do come out already. Smoke initially to warden off any peaks from Garage. Smoke comes out towards Rib, but there's no deeper smoke as well. So how are they going to cross?
Trying to push their way down. Thomas is there as well as he's coming over, so Thomas can just hold the angle and defend if they do even bypass the gaplers in the smoke. Just needs to play his cards right as he will peek up. Oh, a little bit risky as there is 2 players there. They could trade for each other. Zinken takes down Thomas as they will lose that defense.
And now this is where things get really difficult for the side of Endpoint. They're a man down on a map like Nuke where during the middle portion of these rounds, it's so hard to play with a deficit. Epsilon, if they stack up together, if they go 4 down, Secret Stairs have 1 lurk towards lobby potentially. This is a very hard round for Endpoint to win.
Well, that's the thing. The rotate times are so quick and it's so easy. As soon as they get map control like that, the amount of mind games they can play alone really put you on edge. It's a horrible situation to be in. But you can see they're actually repositioning right now as they're going to go through radio and out towards ramp.
As I said before, they need to group as a 4-man unit and have a lurk somewhere across the map.
Imi trying to go for a play here, though, as he will walk his way down. Does find refrag actually puts them back into a 4v4. This is a much more manageable situation if they can get the read on it.
This changes everything. You can see suddenly Epsilon are changing their gaze from the B side to go towards outside, see if they can catch Imi off guard or catch a player here. Potentially go for an A-main slip in or maybe towards Heaven.
They're already extending quite far out. If they find Imi as well, this would be great for them. But there's the panic. Imi actually finds that frag, takes down Barbar. The battle of the IGLs goes in the favor of Imi right now as they have to try and take the hit towards the A-bomb site and slip their way through. Jay-Z as well needs to make a play, but is the alert of Mighty Max will eventually spot him out and find that frag.
3 versus 3 and the bomb is down. Kevzi as well, able to deny any rotations via them. Gets a second headshot as well, and now it's well down to Imi, the 1 versus 3. Would have had to have been the ace if there was any chance into this round. And they will eventually crumble and fall down. So you see what happens, Jack. When you lose that first player, it's so hard to come back from that sort of deficit because you put it perfectly. You said the rotations are easy. And it's almost like you've been blessed with a curse with fast rotations because it's very easy to over-rotate. And if you over-rotate, you miss opportunities and you give space and chances for Epsilon to go in towards the A site for free like they just did. Imi found that kill towards outside, but towards Heaven, there was no one holding that position. And it was an easy round for the side of Epsilon. Then again, for Endpoint, they had the cash that I spoke about before, so they can still buy.
Yeah, there's always that risk of overextending here. Nuke, you really need to know your own boundaries. Stanley actually comes in, though, as he will push into Barbar's mitts and take him down, leaving them with just 4 players already, but they have that outside control. Imi is the last line of defense, but it's a nice angle with the AWP, and he will find the frag anyway, takes down Kevzi, and it's 3 players remaining now for that T side.
Great positioning there from Imi. He knows that Epsilon are going to go back towards that secret play, read it like a book. And now towards outside, you can see Thomas with a secondary AWP as well, holding for anyone towards Heaven, or God forbid, CT lower.
Oh, nicely done. Obviously, this double up setup coming through quite fruitful into the round. Max also finds a headshot. Zinken forced his hand there. He had to do at least something into the round, pushes through and goes down. So Endpoint instantly with a reset, looking good.
Precisely. If you remember as well, we saw on the second round when Max hit the quad kill, it was Thomas and Imi that saved, which meant from the start, from the get-go, they had a game plan on Nuke to go and run the double up setup on the CT side, and it seems so far, It's been paying its dividends. There's going to be 2 ops once again from Endpoint. And for Epsilon, a desperate force buy. If they lose this round here, Jack, it'll go 5-2. They're going to be forced onto an eco. We could very easily be seeing a 6-2 scoreline if Endpoint pull this one through.
It's like they're throwing some smokes there through skylights, though, towards the A-bomb site early. Also some smokes towards outside controllers. They are working their way out very fast here, Snods. Opening frag comes in the favor of Thomas, though, and Fasher holding the angle. Can be the angle even. Can be naughty with this AK if he's given the opportunity.
4 versus 4. Fasher, if he was to peek in towards A main right now, would get these players in the back. But unfortunately, there's no one here. From Endpoint, all it's going to be is the player towards Heaven. But the issue is, can Imi with the op find the frags, or will he go down and give up this site?
Oh, Stanley being absolutely stealthy here as he gets in the rear, finds the first headshot, will take down Barber as he's now panicked and confused, ready for more as well. If they flood towards him and try and play for trades, he should just get the spray down off. Oh, he's flicking all over the place. Stanley making mincemeat out of him as he absolutely executes everyone that comes towards him. Kevzi with the trade back though, that's CZ armed and deadly as he finds the frag on Fasher, leaves himself in a 1v2, but with 13 HP in 50 seconds, he's going to be in a bit of a tight spot. Yeah,
only real silver lining here is the fact that he has the bomb, so if he rushes down, Secret potentially can get the bomb plant down and get an extra $800 for Epsilon. But apart from that, it all comes down to Mighty Max. He's pushing in towards lobby, playing towards high. He's going to get wind of as to where the bomb is eventually going to. For Endpoint, you may as well just stack up together, play 2 versus 1, don't give away kills in isolation.
Yeah, just try and play this smart. Kevs as well. He has to make noise now as he will go down towards that B-bomb site. Luckily, they were close enough as well. They should have heard that audio key. You can see the rotate coming around for Max. As long as Max doesn't play it stupid, just plays it smart, they have won this round. He will be able to find that frag, so just dive straight in. Imi was there to support him as the dynamic duo will pick up the round, and they will get 5 on the board now on their CT half.
Or on the flip side, Jack, what if Max plays stupid, and therefore it's unexpected?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Shout out to Neil M. So, as you said before, they're going to fight outside, and he's expecting again. You saw his AWP was towards the secret stairs. He's holding that aggression towards outside. And if they're going to fight towards outside, how are the rotations going to be? He already said he wants Stanley towards the lower side already at the start of the round. Regardless, though, as predicted, 5-2. Now an eco coming out from Epsilon. High chance here, Jack, for a 6-2 score on an Endpoint running away with his half already.
Yeah. Nice HEs towards outside though, just in case they were going for more of an aggressive play. Would have done an awful lot of damage towards them and at least ward them off. Thomas with a smoke as well to buy them time. Jay-Z is the only one in the close angle, but they do have support from the elevated angle, which is going to be Barber just peeking over. Thomas is safe though, as long as he doesn't overextend.
Exactly. Just playing for information here. Doesn't want to get too overzealous, overcommit and give away an entry kill. Obviously, if you give out full outside control, then some of the T's can work their magic towards their main, towards Heaven. It gets very tricky.
You can see Thomas actually seemed alert of this play as well from Barbar. Definitely dubious of it as he will be repositioned to a more favorable angle to try and deal with that. As he also takes the fight towards Jay-Z. Only 36 HP remaining on him. So it's not a great spot to be in. And he finds the head of Barbar eventually as he is dealing with this eco towards outside. Isn't giving them the opportunity they are begging for.
Kevzi now trying to go for the contact play towards ramp, land that first kill and land that entry, but unfortunately Stanley lands the first, but the aim punch comes into effect. And they do fall down one by one. Just going to be Zinka now, last alive. Can try get some extra kills, try and whittle down that CT economy, but apart from that, he's still consolation frags.
They can just try and take this fight towards him now. Unfortunate Fasher actually went down as well because it was a very clean round there. So only losing one player and conceding that, having to get one rebuy out, that's a pretty good spot to be in so far in your CT half.
It is, and they've had the clean rounds versus the ecos time and time again. I'm going to see that be a very salient point going forward because people really do underestimate the value of having clean anti-ecos and how it can really pay off for you later on. But nevertheless, though, Jack, it will be round number 9. 6-2 being the scoreline. Epsilon in a 4-round deficit on the terrorist side of Nuke as the smokes come towards outside. It's going to be Fasher this time. Let's see how Endpoint are changing this one up.
Well, let's wait and see. You can see Imi on the elevated angle though, so he's at least got his eyes in the sky, but it's not going to help too much as they're crouching below and they could get the opener on him. Zinkin actually finds that headshot as well. This is horrendous now. They're converging towards the A site. Everyone's in a great angle as they burst their way through. Fasher will only get one before he's taken down in a flurry of bullets coming out from Eric. Max as well gets sidelined by Barber, and it's all up to Stanley and Thomas. Sure, this suicide squad can do damage in the past, but is this retake possible? Stanley with the entry, Stanley with the second, nearly the third before Jay-Z will punish him, and it's a 1v1 against Thomas, but Jay-Z too hot to handle. He's too fast, and Thomas is down.
Stanley there with a hero play towards Heaven. Gave Endpoint the chance into this round. But more importantly, Jack, taking those weapons out of the inventory of Epsilon is going to be damaging the money going forward for the T side. Only one player surviving, so look at their money. 1.5k for Barbar, 1.2k for Jay-Z. And apart from that, everyone else is broke. Endpoint, if they win this round, we could easily be looking at a 9-3 scoreline. The game could be set in stone at that point. But of course, there's a lot of what-ifs and a lot of buts. Can they still perform versus these buyers from Epsilon, or have Epsilon actually managed to figure out their weakness into these rounds?
Nice little angle from Thomas there, though, as he does peek and takes that fight towards outside. He's done a formidable job of actually holding them back at the correct timings.
Yeah, gap in that smoke as well. Usually you shouldn't be able to find that frag, so Epsilon trying to do a smoke on the run, but unfortunately, potentially rushing that smoke may have just cost them Barbar's life.
I think we've seen Fasher rotate round in time as well, as he was a little bit dubious of this play. Unfortunately, as he does go for the peek out, suspecting this, he will go down, loses his face there.
Stanley, though, with the rotation coming in, loses the second draw, but gave him the first kill. Zinken did go down, 1 for 1, and the bomb will be planted.
Oh, Max is trying to keep up a fast, as he will find that frag against Kebsy, so obviously it's just 2 players remaining on that T side. They are outnumbered now. It just depends on how Endpoint opt to play this. Are they going to go aggressive? Max coming down, trying to toy with them. You can see Eric very confused, very paranoid about this, as Max will begin to back off. Molotov's come through as well to force him out position, but is he going to peek towards Thomas? Thomas holding the angle, gets the tag towards him, and there's the kill from him with the Molotov actually, so Imi gets the double off the back of that, and Endpoint will get the round.
That's a big round to win. But both of these teams are 4 wins and 1 loss on 13 points. I was told you need 14 points to secure a spot in playoffs, which means if Endpoint get to 10 rounds, they confirm their spot in the top 4 and a position in playoffs. So big following rounds going to be coming up now for Endpoint. 7-3, and once again, the money is low for Epsilon. It seems like each round is a blessing in disguise, but they win the round and then suddenly they reset and they can't quite conjure up any consistency in their victories. They can't chain rounds together, as it will with the full eco now.
Oh, Thomas with the opening frag though, takes down Jay-Z. There's Imi and Max as well coming through as the duo starts to step it up a little. And it's all on Eric and Zinken. CZ's coming through, but it's just the one frag. That's all we can actually find Zinken as well. Trapped now, cowering in the corner as the push is coming towards him. And there's the man in the rear. Stanley once more stealthily tiptoes in from behind. And we'll find that frag as Endpoint continue their dominant lead.
So, what is Epsilon going to be going for into this round here? How are they going to change things up? We know that Endpoint are playing very heavy towards outside. You've got Thomas, you've got Imi locking it down. Why not try potentially for an upper execution? Do your wall of smokes towards outside and then do a re-execution towards upper? Obviously, when the smokes come out, even Imi said it as well. They're playing heavy towards outside. He wants Stanley to be the rotate player from vent or from lower. So fake out that rotation. Do exactly what we did in the pistol round. Force the over-rotates from Endpoint and try claim a weaker A bomb site.
Well, let's see what they are going to opt to do now on the side of Epsilon into this round. They're rearmed once again with the Kalashnikovs. You've got the AWP on Jay-Z. So this is where you have more leg room to work with. They can actually try and get some explosive entry frags, especially when you send Jay-Z over towards that ramp area, trying to see if he can actually find contact there. But Thomas is going to be on the receiving end.
Exactly, but on the receiving end with an AWP of himself. And obviously you favor, especially on LAN as well, where the ping is 1 to 3, you favor the AWP that's holding the angle. And Jay-Z, if he walks into Thomas here, this could be even worse than it already is for Epsilon.
Yeah, Thomas going to spot him out. Also has the wallbang potential there as he lands that shot and takes him down. So already 3 players on the side of Epsilon. That's all they have left. That's all the reserve. Barbar as well, the peak round. Does get a nice headshot off towards Stanley as he takes vent control. Eric comes through as he will kill Fasher. Max has to fire back. Imi as well connecting that shot. And it's just Barbar left now. He has to come back up, peek towards the A site. He's hoping to find an opener. 45 seconds. And an AK is all he has to his name here.
Lacks position of the bomb. 38 seconds left. Double flashbang and a Molotov as well. Can't just try smoke the bomb, try retrieve it. Let's see. Throws out the fake flashbang, trying to see if he can mimic a play towards ramp. But I don't think Endpoint are going to be buying it.
Oh, Barbar going back through. 20 seconds. Max ready for the peak. Oh, the timing is absolutely horrendous. You can see Barbar panicking there as he did get a little bit overwhelmed. We're going to peek round, use the Molotov to try and force Max out. Really just needs to die before time now. And we'll go down to Max.
Pause, yeah, that would be a good shout. That would be a good shout from Epsilon. Try and see if they can recalibrate their T-sellers right now. It's all falling apart. Entry kills galore for Endpoint. Only rounds we've seen 1 from Epsilon. There were rounds where Thomas or Emi give up the first kill. Sorry, Thomas gives up the first kill.
Yeah.
Or I believe it was Fash one of the other rounds. But when they don't get the first kill, you can see how much of an uphill struggle it really is, because if you lose the first kill and you're 4 versus 5 down in the T side, even if you play the trade game where you try to swarm in the sites as a 3-man unit, a 4-man unit, if you get the trades, you'll always be in a deficit. You have to have someone go huge, land a massive 2K spray down or something to change the odds of the round. Or just get the bomb down, try to play a very smart after plant. As you saw, Krillate obviously was playing, but now it's going to be Barbar. Interesting to see the conversations going back and forth, but obviously my Swedish isn't really up to par.
As they try and come to the bottom of this issue, work out how to overthrow this defense for Endpoint. Endpoint looking very good, though. Actually quite formidable on their CT side. You do wonder, though, that's the thing. CT halves, you can try and play more relaxed style, just hold angles, rely on individual aim. When they get to their T side, that's where it's going to come and sort of rely on the more of the fact they need cohesion as a unit.
Yeah, obviously, one of the things we forgot to point out as well is the fact that Thomas is a substitute for Endpoint. Weber is now the new 5th for Endpoint, but obviously before the Elite season started, Weber was his sub for Excel, so we can't play Gfinity, but he's playing with them, obviously at the gaming house you saw in the video. But yeah, as you said before, Endpoint are looking very, very good. Even with Thomas, even with Weber, this new 5-man roster, I say new, with the duo, plus the new 2 members, Stanley and Fascia, and now Weber, are looking very good, poised to really do some damage internationally.
Thomas is risking it right now as he charges through. Luckily, Stanley's there as a safety net to catch him as he falls back down to earth. Stanley unfortunately goes down as well. And Eric is still trying his luck against Thomas. Wolf on the double kill with the CZ is able to push through and try and rearm himself with something a little bit more powerful.
See the greed coming out from Thomas there. Spoke about how much he loves those eco frags for the stats. 1 minute 10 on the clock now. Bomb towards lobby. Zinkin picks it up. Orp onto Eric. But it's towards Ramp. He has to have someone from Endpoint walk into his crosshair and force that over peak. As they are slowing things right down. 50 seconds left now. If the bomb goes down, with that Orp in the right position, Jack, towards Ramp, holding the vent rotation, holding the double doors rotation, holding the single door as well. Decon door towards the right of the default. This could be a very strong round if Epsilon. Definitely a chance, even though they are on eco. Oh, this is strange. Giving the bomb to Eric. Giving the bomb to the Orpa. Things are not shaping up how they're supposed to be, potentially. Let's see how this one plays out.
Well, he is going to make his way over towards the bomb site and try and get that planted. Obviously, all of the CTs currently towards that upper site will have to rotate round. They will be alerted of this as the bomb does start to go down there. They have utility to work with as well to get them in. Let's just see how communication is going to hold up now for Endpoint on this retake, as Zinkin needs to decide to hold an angle. His teammate goes down as well, so it's forced up to him now. Peeks round, but he just runs into Mighty Max, who's going to knock him down, body slam him out of the way, and take control as they will get that retake.
Saw how awkward that was for Eric with the AWP after the bomb was planted. It's one of the reasons so the AWP can get stuck into a good position. Bomb goes down, he's in a prime time location, all's good. But unfortunately, all is not good for the Swedes. As I believe the scoreline is 10, yep. Double digits already for Endpoint here. 10-3 half. After losing and conceding the first pistol, they are seeing a 7-round advantage on their CT side nuke. But then again, resistance now for Epsilon. They can afford a buy. It's going to be the 5 AK buy. That no AWP coming out for JT just yet as they try to rush towards outside and counter the play from Endpoint.
Very aggressive as they are bursting their way through. They've finally actually tried to play with their tempo and really push in fast and furious. Might actually be the difference maker that works using this aggressive play towards the A-bomb site. Let's see if the CTs can actually hold it back. Barbar with the entry on towards Mighty Max. Nice little opening impact frag there as well to try and stop Max from having his way in the round. Stanley will take down Barbar, but there's the trade back as Imi falls.
Retake now on the cards. Stanley again towards lobby. So good in this position, but unfortunately Zinkin catches him off guard. But Fascia does the exact same to Kevzi and Zinkin.
Oh, everyone is getting annihilated right now. Jay-Z as well trying to peek round, but he's so low. Fascia realizes there is potential in the round, but he has to try and force the play. And he couldn't quite do it. Eric will take him down. That's 4 rounds for Epsilon as they get ever so close to at least getting 5 at the half.
So one of the things we've got to mention as well, we forgot to bring up, is Endpoint now have 10 rounds, Jack. They are guaranteed that 1 point to get to 14, and I believe that will certify their position within top 4 and playoffs going forward. So congratulations. I don't want to be wrong on that one, but nevertheless, I believe it is true, so I was told. So 10-4. Still a massive advantage so far for Endpoint on their CT side. It will be a buy once again coming up from Epsilon. Obviously, the AWP was dropped by Imi, so Jay-Z's going to be winning that one into this round. 1 minute 40 on the clock as the bomb and 3 of the players from Epsilon are making their way towards ramp.
Slow play. Stanley going back over. Stanley actually going to go for the spam through the smoke as well. Doesn't connect on anyone. Could have given him a window of opportunity there, but But instead, they still go for the contact push down. Luckily, Stanley will read it correctly and back off.
They've heard him, though. They've heard him jump on the metal. They heard him jump down. They're going to be anticipating the rotation. There's no information about where Epsilon are right now. 3 players in the bomb going to be making their mark towards the B bomb site. When are Endpoint going to realize?
Oh, this could be awful, as they could come out and get themselves some free frags as they start to clear the bomb site. Obviously playing for the retake right now as they are focusing more so towards back steps. This push will come round. And they secure the site. Stanley falls first as Barbar gets the opening headshot. Stanley! Oh, Barbar actually going to go on to get the second as well. Sprays his way through me. That is not the way they wanted this round to start to shape up. Fasher is in the rear, luckily, as he goes back round. Tries to go for more of an audacious fast play. Wants to open this one up.
3 versus 4. Man advantage for Epsilon. A little bit of cheeky love tap coming out from his teammate, but here comes the 3-man rotation via vents.
Pushing straight through, maximally the charge. He bursts his way out. Thomas does the initial damage though as he takes down Eric. It's a 3-on-3, a good situation to be in, but not when Zinken is coming through behind. Jay-Z finds that headshot as well. Zinken strikes Barbar for the final frag. They do get 5 rounds at the half.
10-5 will be the final half scoreline going forward, as the CT side is still strong though. Double digits coming up from Endpoint after losing the pistol. So, issues at hand here for Epsilon are what happens if they concede the second half pistol. If it goes in favor of Endpoint and the pistols go 1-for-1, Jack, 11-5, you're going to be in a weak 4 spot. If they don't lose it, then suddenly it's 12-5. Eco comes out for Epsilon, 13-5. And if they go for a 5-man 4 spot like they did on the T side as well, they're going to be lacking utility, lacking orbs into the second half first buy round. Endpoint are really poised to be taking this match.
Not a great spot to be in, obviously, for Epsilon. They want to try and now bite back twice as hard. You can see quite a few rounds there. Luckily, they were actually able to get 5 on the board at the end of their T half, as it seemed like it was going to be a lot worse for them. They were really struggling to actually find their footing against Endpoint there. Endpoint as well. Can they just try and keep their heads together, play with that level of momentum, and actually bring that through on their T half?
Well, I mean, you spoke about the fact that they haven't really played officials on Nuke. So the easy part essentially is out the way. You're on your favored side on Nuke, CT side defense. You're on the side where you don't really need as much structure, as much tactical depth on your roster. Remember, they are subbing in Thomas for Gfinity Elite Series, so what are they going to fall back on? One of the things I said when Tom asked me about my predictions for this matchup was the T side from Endpoint could be 50-50. They could do their smokes outside, they could do their wall of smokes, go down secret, they land those headshots, or they do the smokes, they fake out a play. In the mid-round, they go towards outside. You've got Thomas and Fasher lurking towards outside in garage and whatnot, and they land those headshots to get the entries and the sights are theirs. But what happens if they don't land those kills? What happens if those headshots don't come in their way, in their favor? What are they going to fall back on? They have nothing to fall back upon.
Yeah. What sort of strategy do you really have underneath that? There's no real depth to the playbook.
A fast A main split, right, where you do the smokes to smoke off garage, you smoke off the blue box and the red box outside, and then you split in 3 main. Or a fast upper rush where you have the molly on top of heart, the flashbang from the same position above heaven. Molly out before the CT vent, smoke off towards main, smoke off and molly out towards heaven. And all these things, all these intricate things where you need time on the server. But obviously, in the gaming house, have they put some time and thought onto Nuke? Obviously, Imi is a wise man, so hopefully he's got something in store for this one.
Well, let's see, as right now it looks like he's doing Nilzinho's favourite strat with a burst straight out as they will go through vent and all the way down towards the B-bomb site as the rotate does come back round. Thomas as well, slowly adjusting through. We'll find Barbar, so the timing works out very well for him as they've actually got a firm grasp onto this round.
Stanley as well can lurk towards vent and the lower bomb side if he wants to. They have the bomb towards ramp right now, and they're slowing the pace down. They're trying to see if they can get a pick somewhere else.
So they just taper it down a little bit. Jay-Z, he's rocking 2 firearms. Dez and Troy, let's see if they can come through as he starts to destroy everyone. As they push in, they will fall short. Thomas with the response with the double USP as he's finding heads across the map. Falls back into a 1v2 now. The double push is coming in. Is he focused on the right angle? The timing wasn't fantastic. Couldn't adjust correctly. Does go down. What a letdown there. Massive opening round. Looked like they had set up everything and it all just toppled down.
Precisely. You land that first kill. Stanley got lurking towards vent. He can cause a fake and a stir towards the B site, force a rotation. You know, it was a 5 versus 4. Stanley's towards vent. He can force that rotation from Epsilon for the ramp player towards B. Maximum of 3 players towards the upper bomb site, which there isn't going to be, right? There's going to be a player towards stairs or towards garage or towards heaven. You may as well take a chance towards that A site, which they did, but unfortunately Kevsey with the Julies got a dual amount of kills, 2 at that, as they try to rush through door and hut. So now we have the scenario where Epsilon have won both their pistols, T and CT. Endpoint won the last force buy. Can they mimic that, replicate it, and bounce back into the second half?
Yeah, is there something they can do here? Will Epsilon play their eco incorrectly, make a slip up, and give them the option that they need? As this push is slowly coming through, Imi actually going to take first contact over towards the A site. Does get tagged down to 86 HP. Nade comes rolling through as well. So he's left on just a measly 60. And Zinken looks like he tries to want to go for a very aggressive push through here with that MP9.
Endpoint right now stacking up towards ramp. Eric with the MP9. Let's see if he can handle the full force of multiple Endpoint players.
Yeah, when they do burst their way through, Barbar going straight in though, but he whiffs it, doesn't realize behind as well it's going to be Imi. Doesn't work out well for Barbar there.
Imi is low, but not before he claimed the scalp of Barbar. Once again, the IGL, the battles of IGL is going in favor of Imi, but Kevzi, or should I say Eric, sorry, did get the 1-for-1 trade towards B, but 1-for-1 is going to be enough as the B site is now open.
Fasher coming round as he just starts to rotate back through, can hold towards back vent here as well as he will actually push in. They find this next frag, it puts them in a favourable position to actually try and bring this back now, but Kevzi with a double spray, the elevated angle, they peek towards him and Jay-Z's in the rear as well.
They've just lined up for Kevzi there now. Jay-Z from the rear should be able to find the frag onto Max planted the bomb, and he does. 20 seconds left, stands in the 1 versus 2.
They've thrown it all out the window off the back of the double kill from Kevzi. That really sold the round down the river. Stan has to try and claw at least something back. 8 seconds. He can go for the bomb plant, but it will surely be taken down if he does. Essentially, this round is as good as done. He dies after time. Luckily, he wasn't put through that much punishment.
Endpoint there, we're expecting an over-rotation from Epsilon towards B from ramp. They thought everyone was going to be instantly rotating as they did on their CT side, but instead, Kevzi stayed towards heaven. He didn't over-rotate towards ramp like we saw Mighty Max do on CT side from Endpoint. And with that durability and that commitment towards A, they all go through that tight choke point, towards Ven, and just get mowed down.
Yeah, very, very awful. Jay-Z actually gets tagged as he's trying to go for these peaks with the scout. Can't land it on anyone. Gets knocked down to 60 HP, but luckily enough you've got Zinken and Kevzi as Overwatch to just find this very easy frag as they pop heads. Just want to get this round over and done with, ideally, and move on to the next one, as there's not too much that Endpoint can really bring to the table.
Massive round now for both of these teams. Endpoint, if they concede the first round on their second half, then suddenly it's a 10-9 scoreline. They're going to be on a weak quasi-buy like we saw Epsilon be in the same scenario they had, where it was CZ's Kevlar or P250's the Smoke Kevlar. Very low chance on a map like Nuke as well to win those rounds where there's such long-range duels. Endpoint, if they concede this round, we could easily be tied up 10-10. What is Imi going to throw out now into the first buy round?
Well, let's wait and see. This is going to be an interesting one to try and understand how this round goes. But look at that, that's classic. The nade strat towards outside. Look how low everyone is. That's very standard. Jay-Z as well. Still dealing damage with the scout. Barbar tries to upgrade to the AK, but he's not going to be able to slay today as he will fall short. Jay-Z repositions as well. Still getting consistent tags out on those Endpoint players.
Imi tagged up to low HP as well. The bomb, though, has made its way down secret steps, as it will be the 4 versus 4. 1 minute 15 left on the clock. Kevzi missing some crucial frags, but eventually lines them up. Gets the first gun to Mighty Max. A man advantage now for Epsilon.
Horrible spot to be in. 3 versus 4 with the defense really banging on the door. They want to try and close this out. Stanley is forced to try and recover the bomb as well. Kevzi's aware of this. He can just try and go for the little periodic peaks now and then and should be able to come out on top. Stanley, you can see the confidence is shining through, but will he actually try and go for this play? There's the nades. Fasher actually going to walk his way up, grabs the bomb, gets the kill as well. This takes down Kevzi. He's got balls.
Oh, Imi's got frags. Let's put it like that. Fasher is low, Imi is low. Zinken and Eric now from Epsilon. 2 versus 3 as they are rotating back towards the B-bomb side, but you can see Endpoint have a different idea, as it will be Zinken on his lonesome towards this A-bomb side. 30 seconds left. Is he going to be expecting the play towards A main?
Well, let's see. Zinken just waits it out with this M4, poised and ready to try and spray upon them and use it as target practice as a weak round. Gets a massive dink off on Stanley. There's the frag on Fasher as well. He's just popping and weaving right now. He can go a full 12 rounds and come out on top as he finds that headshot, grabs the AK. Fantastic play from the individual.
There you have it. First buy round of the second half now claimed by Epsilon. Going forward now, we've seen the wall of smokes come out from Endpoint, and it basically works, right? You do exactly what you wanted. You go down secret stairs, you went 1 for 1, that's perfect, you're 4 versus 4. You're down secret, you're going towards B, you get the first kill towards the B bomb site, but then suddenly the bomb is left in the open. Eric had such a good position on it. Sorry, Kevs had such a good position on it. And no one was there to help Stan until 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was really, really unfortunate for them in the way they actually got divided there and couldn't provide support for one another. This is going to be, you imagine, tied up at 10-10 now as well. As Kevsy should just get a big spray down if they try and push through. Everyone can converge, hold towards the A site. He peeks out as well and finds Zimmy, so that's kind of the backstep potential taken out the window. It's really not gone well for them. Easy spray for Zinken as he finds 2 kills. There is trades back though as Fasher and Stanley deal some damage with those CZs and scavenge a few weapons to upgrade their arsenal. But can they actually get this bomb down to at least secure a little bit of extra cash?
Kevlar though to back up the M4 from Thomas. But they are lacking utility, as it will be Stanley and Thomas down the 2 versus 3.
Barbar waiting to go for the burst out through vent with the timing. Jay-Z as well coming around the contact face, but he falls short. This should spark Barbar to go for the play now as he will push through. Finds Thomas, should take him down, does so, and it's all on Stanley. A 1v2, has the scavenged AWP to play with, but he can't really go for the peaks efficiently. He is smoked out as well. So much utility is being expunged towards his position. Puts through, lands the nose scope, needs to get the refrag. Oh, do it! Legs him, goes down as he will peek through.
Jesus Christ! Barbar laughing there like a madman.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell, Snods.
Bloody hell, Dan. Yes, exactly. Look at this, how unfortunate.
Oh, literally in his chest.
More the arse, mate. But nevertheless, it was the... at least they're putting a good show on. 10-10 as we are, as predicted. Equalized, all tied up. 10-10 going forward as we head into round number 21. It's going to be the up coming out from Jay-Z. But the bomb was planted, and it's been 5 rounds lost in a row now for Endpoint. So, they have the maximum round loss bonus, plus the bomb plant. They can buy up into this one.
This is where the game gets serious as well, Snods. Both teams now securing 10 rounds, knowing that they're going to be comfortable towards their playoff positions. They're going to want to try and win this one out for Bloodlust, as this push will be coming through.
And for seeding. Obviously, you want that better seeding to have an easier chance in the first round of the playoffs. So each win does actually make a massive difference. So, AWP this time on Thomas instead of Imi. Interesting to see. Maybe Imi wants to go for a lurk play?
Ooh.
I guess we're about to find out as Barbar catches Fasher off guard with an off angle.
Nicely done there with a cheeky little off angle, as she said. They weren't expecting that one. A bit of a curt angle as he whacks off. He's going to try and wait for this push as well. Playing mind games with him as he's firing off these warning pot shots as he will just sit towards Dark.
Playing a good position now towards Dark, as you said, as Barbar entrenched in towards the P-bombs. Like, can he get some more kills?
Zinken doing damage for him as he will find the headshot on Imi. They're aware of the location of Thomas as well, but Max actually fights back as he finds the kill with the Kalashnikov. Max only on 1 HP, and he needs to get the bomb down. If they lobbed a HE in there, anything a strong gust of wind, they would find him. But luckily, he is able to plant it for the meantime. Max does damage as well, fights through the pain as he finds the headshot on Eric. The angle's being covered by Thomas. Surely Thomas finds this kill. They're going to win this round. Jay-Z left in a 1v2. They have no reason to face him. They can just win this one out if they just play their cards correctly and wait for the push to come towards them. Max on the aggressive angle, though, so low. It just depends on how it goes as the push is coming through. Jay-Z now has to be fast on his feet as he charges in. Max gets spotted, but Stanley kills him.
Very well played round. They're coming out from Endpoint. As soon as they get in towards these sites, they're very good in the afterplants. The problem is, Jack, is getting to that scenario. I said before, if they go for their upper rushes, if they go for the fast or high octane style of plays, there's a high chance for these afterplants. That's where players like Mighty and Max, where Stanley shine. They are so versatile, such complete players where you get them in these scenarios and they really do play it near perfect to a T. Nevertheless, there will be the eco coming out from Epsilon. Obviously, the 1 versus 1 coming out from Zinken. That's why their money's so low. I said before, you have to have clean rounds versus the anti-ecos versus the force buys for this exact reason.
This push coming through as well. Thomas going to deal some damage to the AK as he does. Starts to slay. Kebsy falls. Jay-Z as well going to follow suit. Obviously, there is nothing really in the arsenal of Epsilon, and this is where Thomas thrives. So he's just going to be running through, merrily skipping along as he takes everyone's names.
Adds them to the list. And 5 players alive. Of course, once again, very, very clean anti-ecos coming out from Endpoint. At this point, it's what we're expecting coming out from the UK side. Right, let's take a look at what Endpoint are going to be bringing us into the next one in terms of their T-side offense and what the strat's going to be. Are they going to play more of a default round, try feel out the CT defense coming out from Epsilon? Are they going to have a set play, more of a tactical, one-dimensional focused round where they have something set from the get-go, and it seems like with 5 going towards outside, Imi going to be lining up the smoke as well to go in front of Garage and Secret Stairs. They do have the wall of smokes, but you can see like how passive they're playing. They're not rushing things.
No, they're keeping it calm, cool, keeping it stable. Imi as well with this elevated angle. If someone does peek out and try and contest against this outside control, that's where he's going to be massive. Jay-Z actually might get the upper hand, though, depending on how he plays this.
Information gathered, though. Epsilon know it's going to be towards the A site. The rotations should be changing and channeling in now towards A.
Oh, Kevzi as well. It's such a good angle, but not when you just really draw it out like that. Zinken with a double trade back, though, as they fall into a 3 versus 2. At least Endpoint have the advantage now in this scenario, so all this hard work in securing this site does pay off for them. But Eric is coming in from behind, looking to try and unleash some excruciating pain if he's given the chance.
Kids for the CT side. Jay-Z finds the frag onto Fasha and also onto Wimmy, and suddenly we're into 1 versus 2.
That's not a great play. That is the worst case scenario to be in now. You're just left all in the hands of Mighty Max. He can be the clutch master, but will it be coming through today? Can the Max do it as he sprays down Max with 1? But Eric gets the second. It's another reset.
You can't believe it. How do you not kill him, man? What are you doing? Imi, what are you dying, man?
Max looks fuming.
That's the thing, when Max doesn't talk, you know it's bad. He's messaging someone on Steam, and that's not where you want to go. You don't want to see his dark side.
Sad Max.
Yeah, exactly. So, round number 24, 12 to 10. Round advantage, regardless though from Endpoint. Bomb was planted, obviously, so they can still have some extra cash going forward. And with that extra cash, they can purchase a full buy round. Apart from, obviously, they are lacking the AWP from Thomas or Imi. But it seems like these rifles are really the keys to victory, essentially. As it will be 1 minute 40 coming out. Again, the smokes towards outsiders. They're trying to force the rotation coming out from Epsilon. But then again, we saw how smart of a play Jay-Z had towards Secret. He got all the information. He knew it was an A-site hit. And actually, Jay-Z obviously being the difference maker in that round. One of those crucial 2 frags in the 2 versus 3 retake. Endpoint, though, going to the exact same round.
Trying to play once again, but let's see if it'll work this time around, or if there is going to be some actually better fork defense against it. Fasha with the early entry. There's actually a clean house towards the A site, and they continue it. Fasha with a double kill as he finds Barbar. Very good way to open up this round. So Eric is just forced to save. So at least they are going to reset them back. That's going to be 13 rounds on the board, and Epsilon pretty broke.
Yeah, that could easily be the final end of the coffin here for Epsilon. The fact that not only is it going to be 13 now for the side of Endpoint, but the money is so low for the Swedish side going forward. They're going to be forced onto a force buy. They can eco the next round, Jack, and try play for 14-12, or 14-11, sorry. There's a high chance for that, but the problem is the money is now reset.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've actually got it back into more of a manageable spot in the way it has gone now. So pretty good. They have got that reset round off. Obviously, could have been a bit scary if we actually did see a few rounds linked together for the side of Epsilon.
A thing to note as well, Endpoint have lost both buy rounds in this best of 1 on Nuke. And still they're in the 2-round advantage, and still they're the ones with the momentum. And the ones forcing Epsilon back onto their back heels. I believe it is a pause coming out from the side of Epsilon as they're trying to work out what they can change. Actually, no, they're going to be delving straight into this one, and it will be the force buy as predicted, so M4 for Eric. Kevlar, CZ, smokes, flashbangs, a lack of utility. They have the kill onto Eric, thankfully. But apart from that, it's a bare bones buy going forward as Kevzi with the aggression towards ramp. They're going for a lobby crush, and now they're going to have so much information. Oh,
they're going to be so aware of exactly everything that is occurring into this round. This is quite horrendous, to say the least. Luckily, Max was lying in wait, but his stealthy play isn't going to be paying off and getting him anything too fantastic into this round as they do a bit of hardcore parkour, take control over towards the A site, and want to work their way back in as they've essentially conceded sides of the map.
They've gone for the lobby crunch. They've made noise. Max heard them rushing in towards lobby, and he's going to have the information to work with and relay back to his team.
Fasha now, up top, waiting for the correct moment to strike. Jay-Z as well, spots out Max. Oh, gets him low, but couldn't quite finish him off there as he'll survive with 31 HP remaining into the round. Still a 5 versus 4.
Exactly, 5 versus 4, and Endpoint are waiting for everyone to come together. They're waiting for the group to happen, for Max to be ready to go for the luck and the pincer play in from A main and heaven.
Oh, Max on the Molotov to try and open it up as they will start to push their way around. Max actually looking a little bit panicked here, and he does go down. Kevzi strikes hardest with a CZ and will take him down, leaving them in a very awkward position. They want to try and get these trades back, but they're actually peeking quite wide for the firefights and really overextending for this. They want it quite badly, and it does start to work out as Fasha gets one. Imi as well, taking down Barbar. They're hungry for more, but Kevzi will put an end to Imi's reign of terror.
2 versus 3, no kit right now for the CT side, but there was a kit invested by Eric. Can they try to retrieve that if they want to go for this one? As there is a chance now, it's a 2 versus 1. Thomas and Stan are taking out the server. Fashion now last alive.
Fashion just needs to hold at this point. If they do overextend round, just kill them there. There's no way they can actually get the defuse
Yeah, there's
off,
no
so
time
at least they can back it off. So that could have been awkward.
Could have been indeed. I mean, I believe one of the reasons why we saw those players pushing was because they knew the round or the bomb was far too ticked down. There was no chance for Epsilon to win it. So 14 to 11, Epsilon went for the 4-buy. They went for the 4-spy, used everything they had left in their savings. And unfortunately, everything wasn't quite enough. Most likely here, an eco for 15. Try bring it back from 15 to 11. Obviously, if you save here, you've lost rounds to the trot, you can have a decent round loss bonus. Going forward, yeah, they don't care. They just want to buy and buy and buy and buy again and again and again. They want to keep investing. It's a high risk to play because on your CT side, utility is crucial. Obviously, lots of late round plays coming out from Endpoint where it goes down to the wire. There's a distinct lack of utility to fend off Endpoint towards outside. They're not smoking out A main. They're not mulling out towards ramp or mulling the pushes. Instead, they're walking into the crosshairs of Endpoint. Talking of crosshairs and headshots, JC finds the first. It's finally going to be a man advantage for Epsilon. We haven't really been saying that too much this game.
It's true. Endpoint have actually been playing quite effective on their T-half as well as their CT half play now as they work into this round. Kebsy actually strikes first and takes down Imi, so it's just 3 Musketeers remaining. It's Stanley, Thomas, and Max as the B site is under a heavy hit from the side of Endpoint. Let's see if they can actually secure too much with this. Molotov start to be thrown around the gaff as they have secured site control. That bomb will go down. Stanley just fall to Barbar there as he pushed straight in. The dink comes out from Zinken as well with not 1 but 2 frags as he finds those headshots, and they do get round number 12.
More like Dinkin as he finds both of those headshots. 14 to 12. As the 4-spy finally does pay off for Epsilon. High risk, high reward, and that reward being the round claimed and not allowing Endpoint as well to get to 15. So it's still going to be an even playing field going forward. So, what are we going to be seeing in terms of the buy from Endpoint after just losing a round? Obviously, I believe they won, gosh, was it 3 in a row? I think it was 11-11, I'm not quite too sure. Maybe it was 2 in a row, who knows? But they had enough to consistently chain rounds together, build up their money so they can continuously buy, even if they lose rounds, which they just did. So it will be the 5 AK buy coming out once again, but look at the lack of utility right now for Stan. So, if they're lacking utility across the board, how's it going to favor?
You know, the AWP coming out on Jay-Z as well. It's been interesting to see how powerful that can actually be at stopping angles and just actually really locking plays down early if they want to extend the ball with that.
Precisely, obviously. With that AWP, how is he going to be using it? We saw Imi and Thomas using it to great effect. Imi having very good positioning towards secret stairs and outside and the A site and heaven. Thomas as well playing far back at CT spawn and towards ramp. Imi though, speaking of him, we'll be going for the challenge versus Kebsy.
Oh, trying to run the risk. Stan actually gets into the back, but it is Imi that kills him as they distract him, working as a dastardly duo as they now make their play up towards A. They have everything they need to get in there. They have the smokes, they have the nades. Let's see if they can secure this and actually brute force the defense that's there. Zinken is going to be a little bit of a nuisance. Oh, Jay-Z actually tiptoeing around as well. Could try and go for an info play here.
Stanley is holding the angle. It all comes down to who lands that first bullet. Jay-Z misses. But he has the information that they could be towards heaven now.
Actually backs off though, doesn't want to reface, doesn't want to try and run that risk of peeking into him again. He is just going to get out of there and concede that. Imi's already got up as well, so the rest of his teammates now coming through. Looks like they're going to send 3 players in through main, and Imi and Stanley try and peek from upper as Zinken holds the angle though, gets one, success the second as he will find him. Is he ready for the burst? It is now coming for his front door as they sprint their way in, ready for more, but Zinken is just annihilating everyone. It's beautifully done. It's a 1v2 now for Max as he's last alive. Peeks round, gets the initial frag, takes down Eric, and it's all on Jay-Z. Switches out to the AK as he wants to play with a rifle and show how rampant he can be with this deadly Kalashnikov. Flashbang out for Max here as he waits for the correct timing though. Forced his hand a little bit as the Molotov comes in, but he's still keeping his wits about him. Peeks through, Max gets it so low, but still fights through the pain. Max locks it down this time.
Match point now for Endpoint, and they're going to have 3 chances to close this one out in regulation as well. Epsilon need to chain 3 rounds on the trot if they want to be forcing OT. Obviously going forward, what happens in the last half makes no difference, means nothing. I actually feel like even if this goes to OT, Jack Endpoint have the advantage because think about the buffer of rounds that Epsilon have had with their pistol round wins. Obviously, they had 1 in the first half and 3 in the second, so you're looking at a 4-round lead anyway just because of the pistols. And of course, into the overtime, that means nothing. Regardless though, Is this the final round of this first matchup? Will Endpoint claim the victory?
Well, let's see as the push is coming around. Fasher with the early opener as he takes down Kevzi, striking with that AK-47. JC and Co are ready for more, though, as the response will start to flood back through. Look at the damage done on Thomas as well. He's very supple right now, very squishy.
Is that a fat joke?
No, it isn't.
Okay. Maybe I made that one instead. 13 HP there for Thomas. Of course, he's still alive and kicking. He will be the kit right now for Eric and JC Walkins. He hasn't got the ult this time as well, as you said before. Minute left on the clock as it seems like Endpoint are going to be going back to the drawing board, back towards lobby as they slow the pace of this round down. They're allowing Mighty Max to have his gander towards ramp, but unfortunately, aiming across the map goes down to Barbar.
Nice kills coming through there as they do leave them with just 3 players remaining. Obviously, Thomas still very low as well as they have that control towards ramp now. Going to barrage their way down and attempt to secure side. But can they actually overthrow the defense? Not looking likely as everyone falls short. It's all on Max. Can he do it? Not today. Will fall short there. Goes down to Eric as he actually will strike against him. So Max going to be sent off on a date with the coroner.
2 rounds now separating these 2 teams in this first matchup. 15-13. The play from Endpoint, they had the first kill, they had the man advantage towards outside, they slowed the pace down, they go towards Secret, but this time we saw a full rotation from Epsilon towards B, and you can see the difference it's really had. It's quite funny when you see, and you contrast the difference of CT sides, where Endpoint were very fast to rotate, Epsilon were quite reluctant and hesitant to rotate, as obviously they're wary of fakes and whatnot. But I don't think Eric's going to realize this isn't a fake.
No, this is not too good for him as well. Forced to fall back immediately as they are thunderfooting their way through a stampede of hungry elephants as they burst in towards this B-bomb site, dealing deadly blows. The only response is Barbar, as he will be able to find 1 frag, ready for more as well. As Thomas speaks towards him, they're peeking 1 by 1. This isn't really the optimum strategy. Luckily, Fasher was in the rear. Barbar seemed completely unaware.
3 versus 3 kits right now for the CT side. They have a smoke as well to try and use that with the defuse. Zinkin will find the frag onto Fasher. And Naomi, the Argentine captain, lacking Kevlar, is the one with the AK.
Might be walking into his own demise though as he peeks round. Kevzi had the angle held. Jay-Z as well takes down Mighty Max. And they now have 40 rounds on the board. They are 1 away from equalizing the scoreline and taking us to overtime here on Nuke.
Bomb was planted for Endpoint, so it's extra $800 going forward into this final round. Or is it just one of many to come if this goes to OT? Are Endpoint going to try and change the pace? They've played very slow CS. Are they suddenly going to go for a ramp rush? A smokes towards outside into a lobby. Execution towards upper. A fast play towards heaven. Try swarm outside. Let's see if they're going to up the tempo into this one.
What are they actually going to bring to the table here? What will be their last-ditch attempt on this regulation time here?
Smokes towards outside once again, but not going to be faking or doing anything mischievous with it. Kevzi towards heaven. Can he peer over it? Can he find the entry? Spots up the player, but he can see he's a bit wary to fully commit as Imi has brought a shotgun.
He has indeed, and he's going to blow the doors off him. So let's see what he can achieve as the big man comes in. He wants to try and shut them down a notch with his aggressive with the shotgun. He's mastered the art of jumping now as well in the elevated angle. Let's see if it actually will work out for him as he pushes round. Jay-Z surely will not be suspecting such a play.
Barbar, though, towards Secret Steps, coming from behind, catches the bomb from Thomas. 4 versus 3, though, regardless of the well-timed push coming out from the captain of Epsilon. Still going to be the advantage in the core of Endpoint. Minute left to play with, the bomb retrieved as well. As let's see, Jay-Z ready for the push towards heaven. Is he going to come down? Is he going to boil it down just to this one vicinity here? Above the ladder, at heaven.
They have utility. They can try and flash their way in. They can try and go for something. There's the pop flash. Oh, but he still lands it at a beautiful angle. As all he had to do was pull the trigger and take him down. Stanley with a double entry, though. Eric as well. Flicks around as he finds 2. He can try and take it overtime now. All he needs is his next frag, but Fasher denies it as he's fast and furious. 16-40 will be the scoreline. They deny the overtime potential, and they will go through, securing the max amount of points from that matchup.
Things were a little bit too close down to the final round for Endpoint. Nevertheless, though, congratulations to the UK team. I believe they are now secured in playoffs. 16-14 victory here versus the likes of Epsilon, as they may be one of the favourites going into the playoffs right now.
Oh, definitely so. That looked very nicely played as well, considering that's really the first time we've ever seen them play Nuke. For what it was against a team like Epsilon, looked consistent, good display on their CT half, and nice to finish it out on their T half there.
Thing is, well, both these teams are fielding subs, I guess. Obviously, Barbar coming in for the Gfinity Elite Series this week. Obviously, before it was Krilly that was subbing in. But so far, so very good coming out from the likes of Endpoint. Let's see how they favour going forward.